Module 4, Unit 4, using shared storage. When we talk about storage, we all know ito yung we save the files where we do our backups. And when we say sharing, this is about anyone who could access. So in this unit, we will identify and list the ways on how to share files, how to share and store files in a storage in a network. And then we will describe the means of sharing files and services on the internet. Ito na yung tinatawag na cloud computing technology, na ito yung technology na papasok dito. And then we will also explain the importance of backups, and also how to configure simple backup options. This will somehow add up I mean, how important is backup, how it's being used. No, may backup management kasi tinatawag. Now, in a network using shared storage, normally dapat merong file server. Yung file server, ito yung center ng operations when it comes to user access or sharing files. So any drive actually or folder na attach a computer or create inside the computer can be shared. So any files, any folders can be shared. It is about how you will share it. It is about the access control and permissions that you will grant sa mga users within the network. So yung even the hard drive, yung fixed disk mismo, and then even if you have the USB drive or flash drive, those can be shared. Pwede yan, anything within your computer, doing the same process by giving permissions and access restrictions to the users na kasama mo sa network. And the host computer should always be powered on, of course. Kung hindi, I mean, when you power it off, none of this will be available as well. So, yun ang limitations for directly attached storage. Kailangan naka-on palagi yung host computer. Siya kasi magpa-function as a file server to do the sharing, to do the access control, and where the permissions are created. Now, maybe you have heard already yung tinatawag na NAS, Network Attached Storage. Usually, it is an appliance, no, na dedicated only for file sharing. From the image itself, this is a network attached storage because you can attach it to the network. And then its only purpose is for storage. So may mga multiple disks dyan. And then it is configured like a single drive, kahit na maraming hard drive within, as shown on the picture. Ito yung mga hot swappable din, meaning you can pull out the drive even it is powered on, even it is in operation. Like the good thing about that is pag merong failure disk, report na merong disk failure, you can replace it right away while in use. You don't have to shut it down. And of course, when it comes to sharing, network pa rin yan, may mga protocols, may mga standards na involved in file sharing. And then when it comes to network attached, network pa rin yan. Again, aside from protocols and file sharing, meron ding IP address. So may host name din yan. It is another host within the network. And again, it is dedicated only for file sharing, for file storage then. And then in a network, no, the way you share files is you know how to share the printers, di ba? And for any configure directly attached sa station, you can share it by right-clicking on the printer configured, and then you click properties, and then go to the sharing tab. Makikita mo dun yung mga the most obvious one, you share the printer. And then automatic windows, when you click apply or OK, it will load the necessary software drivers para maging accessible siya sa network. So ang mga nasi-share sa network, ito yung mga locally installed. Remember from our previous unit, installing a printer, mga plug and play, those can be shared. Even printers na connected by not only by USB, by Bluetooth or Ethernet or Wi-Fi, that can be shared with everyone. So when we say shared, may control, may restrictions, may permissions. Those are the things that you can do. So the same thing with network attached storage, no? The host, no, or the Windows station hosting the printer must be on. Siya palagi siyang powered on din kasi nasa kanya yung control, nasa kanya yung um, dyan nag-umpisa yung connection to share the printer to everyone within the network. And then yung iba namang klaseng the other way to share a printer is using a print server. It's like NAS, which is a file server or storage server. Merong hardware print server is another device that you install on a host station that actually its purpose is to manage the printer sharing. Mga network enabled din yan. And then it's the same thing how you do it with printer or NAS in network attached storage. These are that provide services, kaya nga server din siya in a sense for printing and storage or file sharing. You can also connect it also in the internet as well. Now, your station, para makapag-participate for file sharing or any station connected in the network, should be part of a domain or work group. So your station, you can verify kung saan siya na-connect. Ito yung, it's either you are in a work group or in a domain. Ang lagay dyan na domain naman instead of work group. Ano ba pinagkaiba ng work group and domain? Work group is peer-to-peer access. Ito yung all computers, all devices connected on the same network, they are communicating at the same level. Peer-to-peer. Ibig sabihin ng peer-to-peer, walang server, all of the clients have the same level ng communication, and you can create the same level of sharing and permissions. Yung domain naman, merong server. Etong server mismo nag-host ng communication to all the clients. Siya ang center ng network. Siya ang center ng domain hierarchy. Remember the domain discussion from previous slides na merong bawat station merong fully qualified domain name. That's how it works. Makikita rito, instead of work group, domain. Makikita dyan domain and then the domain name that your station is being joined. So that's a good thing about having a domain. May centralized control, unlike with work groups. Walang central. Every computer the same network are at the same level. Individual ang control, walang centralized like Active Directory when it comes to Windows Server. Now, when you share a file or folder, it is just any folder. You right click and then go to properties in sharing tab, just like on the printer. You will see these properties now when you share it, and then you will see the users when you click sharing. You will see the user and the accounts that is part of the network now at the same level with you. Now you can grant access whether read only or read and write or previously naka-assign, and then you remove them. Then you click share, and then in a work group, bawat workstation, you have to do this separately. Punta ka sa station A to share a particular folder, to share a storage, or to share a printer. So, unlike with the client server, you do it one time sa server mismo. So, sa advanced settings naman ng file and printer sharing, you will see na there's other options like whether you yung mga public folder sa account, to turn it off or to turn it on. Ito yung mga public folder na there's no security. Anyone using the computer can access this folder. So may mga, you can also turn it off to make it unavailable. And then may mga encryption din na tinatawag para when the data is in transit, or meaning when it is between when it is communicating from the from the sender to destination, not anyone can read it, not anyone can see, be able to read the information, hindi siya ma-encode because it is encrypted. Meron ding password protecting sharing then that you can do. Now, when you are browsing a shared drives, no, yung mga shared devices, when you click sa Explorer, makikita mo kaagad yan. Just open an Explorer and then you will see, click on network, you will see all the computers that, that associated with you na pwedeng mag-share din ng kanilang files or the same station where you can share with. Even mobile devices that is part of the same network or the same group or domain, you can see that by browsing this, by clicking on this network icon. And then when you click on a computer, no, and then you will see the shared folders that being configured to be seen by everyone. Talaga yung mga files within that, you can see it. That's when you click the yung particular workstation, CompTIA Labs, to expand that, makikita mo yung shared folders. Even the drive, yung fixed drive, na kung shinare nila yon, makikita mo rin yun dyan. So, of course, in naming convention yan is universal, and to access that, yung merong naming convention like workstation and then the file. Something like that you will see. That's how it operates. But in Windows, all you have to do is point and click. You don't have to type the entire path para ilocate yung file that are being shared. So when you are browsing, di ba, during on a browser for your network shares, you can actually map a shared folder. When we say mapping, when you right click, it will be assigned with a drive letter. So you will see from this diagram, ganyan ang icon ng map drive. A folder can be configured as a shared folder, a shared drive. Para siyang local drive kalalabasan kasi may drive letter palagi dyan. As long as the station is up, this link is always available. And to do that, for example, you click on the workstations and then you browse on the folder being shared to you, and then you right click and then you click this map network drive, then you can assign a drive letter. Ang kalalabasan niyan, the same thing with any drives, nakalagay dyan yung workstation name and then the file that being shared to you. So, ang mga hosted sharing and storage, what do you mean by that? It is connected to a server, and then it is available for file downloads using browser, yung either with HTTP or a secure HTTP. You can those are the things that you can set for file access. You can upload or download, and then just using the URL ng workstation by IP address, and you can see the workstation itself. And then may mga authentication when it comes to browser, even on websites on or local connections, may mga authentication din dyan. And then you have the option, no, to manage it for encrypted or what protocol that you will use. And when you are transferring files, ang protocol dyan is yung FTP, File Transfer Protocol. So, more efficient when it comes to HTTP or HTTPS, because that's for browsing the internet. But this is just meron din secure, meron din, kung merong secure ang HTTP, meron din secure ang FTPS naman yon. Only functionality nito is to transfer files. May mga dedicated client and dedicated server to do this. So, it is more secure pag meron tinatawag na FTP. Mga encrypted na communication yan. Now, let's talk about sharing in the internet, yung tinatawag na cloud computing. Cloud computing, ito na yung naririnig nyo ng mga OneDrive, yung mga services na Microsoft or Google that you can share on the internet, yung Google Drive o kaya yung Microsoft, di ba? Yung OneDrive nila. These are mga servers in the internet that provides cloud storage. Meron kasing storage, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, those are hosted storage. Those are locally available, those are locally connected and locally configured. Etong cloud computing, you don't see the hardware, you don't see the server, lahat yan you access in the internet. And then, 'di ba, ang characteristics ng cloud is that it is a metered service. You can connect and then download depending on the time that you will consume while uploading or downloading. Mga metered, all you pay only as you use it. And then meron ding services like yung rapid elasticity or scalability is that flexible. You only pay what you need. No, it is available depend on whatever specs, whatever size, whatever capacity, nakakapag-adjust yun. Instead of you pay for the service and then you don't need that much, wala ka na magagawa. So yun ibig sabihin ng rapid elasticity. You can reduce it down in the middle of the agreement, even yung contract hindi pa expired. So yun ang characteristics ng cloud computing. So kasi ang advantage nun compared sa hosted storage, I mean it's either you use it or you lose the storage space. So kung sapat yung storage capacity, you're good. Pag hindi, so you have to expand. So and then if you have invested too much, kung sobra naman yung capacity, so it is what it is. You still have to use it regardless of capacity. Yun ang naman, hindi flexible, kundi it depends on what storage capacity that you have provided locally. Now, sa ang cloud kasi, it operates and it depends on virtualization technology. Merong tinatawag na resource pooling when it comes to virtualization. Resource pooling is that they outsource their services and it is only available kung ano yung only accessible kung whatever is made to be available. And then, the feature ng cloud computing is that you have less visibility. That's what I've said. Yung storage, hindi mo nakikita. Yung server, hindi mo nakikita. All you need is a browser address, and URL. And the control is somehow divided. It can be set up na you don't have from full control or control in a sense when it comes to security and then privacy, but when it comes to administration, management, maintenance, you don't have to, and you don't have those access for maintenance. Like for example, kailangan mo nang i-expand yung server storage o kaya you need to create another backup. You don't do those, no, as how you usually do on a server or data center. Everything, lahat ng maintenance, administration, management, nasa cloud. All you have to do is subscribe and then upload and download your files for storage. So may mga vendor dyan, di ba? You heard of those from Google, Amazon, Microsoft, even IBM, and there's many more. So ang cloud-based storage can be managed when it comes to access similarly. And then, first of all, you have to subscribe. Sino mga popular vendors dyan? Yung mga giant are the Apple, Google, Microsoft, in Dropbox. Ito, ano player, and then Amazon. Pinasok na rin yan. So yung OneDrive is an example of cloud-based storage from Microsoft. So you can access this as a browser, no, or a client app. Once you an app installed in your station, na it will bring you directly kung saan yung files mo. All you have to do is cut and paste. You drag the file. Even as an explorer, yung gusto mo mag-save sa OneDrive, just cut and paste. You drag the file and that's it. The same thing with mga yung ibang services like Google, may mga applications, no, cloud-based collaborative applications. Ito yung mga apps that helps you to manage your storage, it's very straightforward. When you click on this symbol, it will tell you whether to add folder or to remove a folder. It's the same with local File Explorer, only that makikita nyo iba-iba yung name na ginagamit, but it's the same thing. How you manage a file in an Explorer. So, even Microsoft in 365, yan ang cloud services nila when it comes to Office, no? Yung Cloud Office o Cloud Storage. And then yung katumbas naman ng Google, yung G Suite, and then Smartsheet. Those are the vendors. So, when we say peer-to-peer file sharing, you have all equal authority. Meron kang, anyone could upload, anyone could share, anyone could do the restrictions. You have all the same level from your station to another. I always say this, the keyword for peer-to-peer is equal communication. No? Peer-to-peer, equal talaga. Hindi yung walang client and server since communication setup. Now, when we talk about backups, iba yung storage, diba? Storage is a device to keep your files. Backup is like data that you manage for file keeping and then for retrieve and restoration as well. So maraming klaseng backup process, maraming din backup media from local attach or from cloud or network attached. Then backup is not the file itself, it's not the folder itself, it is a process, no, where you store your data and retrieve your data. May mga configuration management to do a backup, like kailan automatic magba-backup and kailan tatakbo siya, and then may mga options whether incremental or whether incremental backup and so on. And then may mga backup management like that being considered, yung mga typical na on-site backup and off-site backup. When we say on-site backup, the entire backup, even the media is nasa office lang, nasa site lang. It is kept in a safe within on the same location sa office mismo o sa data center. Yung offsite, you carry the backup media with you. Kung tape drive man yan o a hard drive na pwedeng i-dismount, you bring it with you. You bring it with and save it, put it in a safe in a different location. Off-site backup yon. That is for the purpose na kung meron disaster like fire, meron pa ring data na hindi kasama na that made to be safe away from the same site of disaster. And then when it comes to backup, meron tinatawag din security. Kailangan number one, yung, as been mentioned many times, yung encryption. Number one yan. And then yung access. Not everyone should be able to access, and then not everyone should be able to access anytime. So those are the things. And then may mga level of access, may mga protected folders, may mga protected drives. Those security are imposed. And then yung recovery, ito yung tinatawag na point in time, like how many days back that you are trying to recover or trying to do a backup, and then how long, and then how much file size. Meron kasi tinatawag na time of recovery or point of recovery. Yung mga considerations when you think about point in time. And then scheduling, whether every weekend or daily, every night, those are backup schedule na that is part to be considered when managing backups. So yung mga backup storage types, maraming klase as you already know. Yung mga locally attached, di ba? Yung network attached storage, o kaya even a USB external drive, o kaya a file server with yung sa server mismo or sa cloud services, or even in the cloud. Yan ang mga klase niyan, di ba? Network attached, yung cloud-based, and then yung all of this can be managed in terms of point in time backups or periodic offsite backups. Like may routine, may schedule kung kailan ang backup is being brought with you for offsite purposes. So what do we back up? When we say backup, ano ba mga information dyan? Ito yung mga, usually mga critical data. Usually ito yung mga company confidential data. Even you, if you back up your files, these are the important files, that is so valuable to you na you need to back up. Kailangan may copies ka. Pag na-corrupt yung computer mo, you still have a backup that you can use. And then, kailangan may schedule ka. Baka yung backup mo, hindi regularly updated, di ba? Or all of, outdated. So yung mga, pag merong disaster, the only thing that you have, di lang pwede mong i-restore. And then, saan ba sinisave yan? It's either through the cloud, through a file server, or to another media that you can rotate. No? Meron kasing tinatawag na grandfather and father and son rotation. Ibig sabihin, yung son, yung mga in latest copy ng backup, yung father, yung next to the son, next to the latest, and then yung oldest copy, yung grandfather, of course, di ba? So, yung location, yung how to organize yung files is also important. Kailangan you can categorize by folder, by location. Na these are the critical files, or these are the common files. No? When we say backup, data backup, number one dyan yung database. Database is, of course, a repository of information as discussed from the previous units. Ito yung repository. I'm trying to think in hirap itagalog yan repository is like ito yung storage mismo, ang data mismo itself in a container, in a logical container. Naging technical na yung yung explanation ko what is a database. This is a record. This is a data. This is a file. Regardless kung anong software man yan. Database in general. Dito, may mga yan. Yung copying dyan is not just simple as yung transfer, cut, copy, and paste, So, data management sa database, if you remember, medyo comprehensive. Merong method, yung tracking alone na kung kailan, for example, I'm thinking of a example, yung in tracking, like in a sense yung timestamp or user stamp, merong ganon. And then meron ding retrieval in a way na in an organized manner na it doesn't have to be all of them are on the same location. Yung mga SQL database, di ba? And then may mga replication then, of course. All database information or backup is not only on one location or in one server. Merong mga replica din yan. And then meron ding point in time, just like a typical backup routine na eting how long that you can recover. Is it a 1 month backup or you have an archive backup na good for 6 months? So you don't overwrite everything at the same time, at the same period, because yung data lumalaki yan it is increasing and your media could not be sufficient. So, and then meron din, kasi binabaka mo pati mga data 6 months ago, 1 year ago, and those are data management, when it comes to backup ang pinag-uusapan. And then meron din tinatawag na snapshot. Instead of copying the entire database, instead of backing up the entire database, meron akong snapshot. Snapshot is like a taken ito yung ang hirap itagalog ng snapshot, Ito yung a period in time na where you say na ito yung status ng backup, na a certain point of time lang ang binackup mo, hindi yung entire backup for the entire period. Then ang recovery noon mas mabilis kasi you don't have to dig in or you don't have to search for the entire records, only yung last changes. Meron din backup guys sa operating system. All operating system from Windows to Linux, and then Android or Mac, lahat yan software those are needed to be backup. Ang mga tawag doon mga image backup. Ang purpose nun is you don't have to install from scratch. you have a backup of the latest image ng operating system, wherein pag na-corrupt o na-infect, no, or nasira yung hard drive. So, to restore your station, your operating system, all you need to do is to use the image backup. Kasi kung wala kang image backup, you have to start from the scratch. Install the software, download the driver, and then check the configurations, and then apply all the settings, yung mga sharing, mga connection, everything. It's a long process. And sometimes you will there's a tendency na mayroon kang ma-miss out na ano ba yung nakalagay dito, ano bang software naka-install dito. Those are things na you could miss out compared to image backup. So, meron tinatawag na bare metal backup or image-based backup. Yung bare metal, yung operating system itself. Yung image backup, kung ano yung latest configuration, yung latest installed software, and everything, yun ang binackup mo. So, yung operating system, yung backup niyan, is separate from data backup. Lalo na sa mga malalaking data sizes, it makes sense, no, it has to be separate. So usually ang restoration is two place pag meron disaster. Pag nasirang station mismo, you restore the image backup, and then pag operational lahat, you restore the data from another backup. So, when you do a backup, di ba, ganyan na nangyari. For example, sa Windows 7, merong option doon, backup and restore. Madali na lang hanapin yan instead of browsing to control panel and then select the browse backup and restore. Yung style na to since Windows 7 pa. So, dito is point and click. All you have to do is create a backup, or create a system backup, or you create a system repair disk. You have all of those options, and this is an example of a backup in progress. And then when you browse a backup, makikita mo yung data, yung history niya, yung capacity niya, and timestamp niya, and then you can do an update, and then it will tell you to run now, no? Ito kasi ang last update, it was like a few dates back. So, yung file history sa Windows 8 and Windows 10, no, those can be easily tracked pag may mga modifications, lalo na sa mga automatic backup. So, when you are restoring a data, di ba, we do a backup. So, we also do a restoration. Yan ang complete cycle actually ng using a backup system. And the only way to verify the integrity ng backup, ibig sabihin ng integrity is if all backup is successful, no, walang error, walang data corruption, na when you restore it, you will get the same data that you are looking for. And then, in configuration, critical yan, na hindi nag-overlap sa mga backup, that kasi pag yung mga files, lalo na may maraming version na overwrite, and then may mga user na they're using the same file name, or sometimes with the different version, with different signature, those are important, no? Those are being considered in restoration, kasi minsan sabi nila, gusto ko lang yung file na ma-restore 2 days ago, may Tuesday pa, kaya 1 week ago, ito lang, no? Kasi somehow they carelessly overwrite the data, so they want to go back from the original version that it was, no? So ang complete cycle ng healthy backup is you mag-trial ka ng restoration. And it doesn't have to be the entire folder or the entire database. Just try to restore a particular file. That should do it. Now, in this unit, it is recommended to get more a deeper understanding about shared storage or shared resources. Use a file explorer. Try to do a file sharing, and then file sharing in a sense that you need to go to an explorer, go for a workstation, and then if you see a workstation, you double click mo, and then it will tell you kung ano yung mga available for you to access, and then try to explore yung mga properties, mga sharing properties, and you will see the users and other restriction that you can do when it comes to file sharing. Now in this unit, we covered the ways to share files in a storage or on a local network. Even in a network, in a cloud computing, you can share files. The services available, we covered that when it comes to shared storage. And then we also covered the significance, no, the importance of having a backup, how to configure a backup, and then what kind of different backups that being considered, hindi lang data, no, from operating system, database as well, and then images. So I hope this has been informative to you. See you in the next unit.